Hello everyone, Jennifer Maker here. It is a beautiful day to make something for the holidays together. I think the holidays and crafting go hand in hand, and many of those who make things this season are brand new to it. So I like to start off each December with a very easy and simple paper craft that everyone can make with basic materials like paper and glue. Everyone's got that, right? So this year's beginner holiday paper craft is a holiday train that will keep you right on track. I've put the train on my mantle already. Come with me and I will show you how to make it. This holiday train is so cute. Each train car has a door that you can open to count down to Christmas, starting with the engine at the front. But I think the best part is how easy it is to make. So let's talk about what you need first, because it's not really that much. The most important thing you need to make my holiday paper train is 2 sheets of 12 by 12 cardstock, and I cannot tell you how important it is to make sure that you start with a good quality cardstock. It really makes all the difference in your ability to get these intricate cuts. You don't want to use the cheap paper for this project, trust me. I have tested all kinds of different paper types and weights in order to save you a lot of time, money, and frustration, and this is the one that I highly recommend. You can also use foil craft board as I've used here, and that also cut just fine. In addition to the cardstock, you have the option to cut material to put behind your cars, such as vellum, like this, which is like a see-through paper, or even wax paper. This step is optional, but stick around and I will show you why I think that you should add it too. Now, if you are using vellum or wax paper, you'll also want some tacky spray to keep your vellum or wax paper in place. And of course, we're going to need our Cricut cutting machine. I'm using the Cricut Maker 3 for this, but you can use any cutting machine, including the Cricut Joy for this project. You'll also want a machine mat, a scraper, and a weeding tool, and that's it. So let me show you where to get the free pattern, and let's get started.
Step 1. Get my free holiday paper train design. Just go to my blog at jennifermaker.com/345 and look for libraries in the red bar at the top. Then either click Get a Password if you don't yet have one, or click Enter the library. Search the page for design number 345 and then click it to download a zip file with SVG files for cutting on a Cricut or another cutting machine, DXF files, and a printable PDF for cutting by hand. Let me show you how to cut these designs on a Cricut cutting machine. First, upload the SVG cut file to Cricut Design Space. If you're unsure how to unzip and upload SVG files, go to jennifermaker.com/svgs to learn how. Here's what my holiday paper train SVG file looks like once you've uploaded it to Cricut Design Space. Step 2. Cut the holiday paper train. Now, in Cricut Design Space, zoom out to see the whole design by clicking on the minus sign next to the magnifying glass on the bottom left. You will see there are 2 trains. The one on the top has the numbers for the countdown and door and window cutouts, while the one on the bottom is solid. The bottom one is optional and designed to be cut from something like vellum, wax paper, or copy paper. Once the file is uploaded, you really don't have to do anything. No scoring or ungrouping is needed. It's all ready for you to cut. If you're cutting just the train layers and not the back layers, you can hide those back layers by clicking on the eye icon next to each layer. Otherwise, just click Make It. Select on Mat, click Done, and then click Continue. For the first 2 mats, select your base material. I chose heavy cardstock, 100 pounds. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I recommend you use a really good quality cardstock to cut this project, as there are a lot of little cuts and you may run into problems getting clean cuts with bad quality cardstock. If you do run into issues, go to jennifermaker.com/Cricut cutting problems for my best tips and tricks. If you're cutting the background layers, set the base material for those mats to vellum, wax paper, or copy paper to match the material that you're using and have on hand. I use default pressure to cut all of these layers. I recommend trying this setting first because too much pressure, in this case, could rip your paper and all of the small detailed areas. If your train is not cut out all the way after the first pass, do not unload your mat. Just press the middle button again and let your Cricut recut your layer. It will take about 30 minutes to cut all of the train layers. Step 3. Weed the holiday paper train. Once your paper train is cut, unload your machine mat, flip the mat over onto your work surface, and gently peel the mat away from the cut cardstock. This will minimize curling and ripping. Do be mindful of the doors and numbers as they could tear if you remove your cardstock too quickly. If they do tear off, don't worry, just reattach them with some tape, but you should be fine if you take your time. After you've removed your cardstock from your machine mat, use a scraper tool to quickly remove all the little pieces stuck to it. If you're lucky and your machine mat is sticky enough, most of the little cutout pieces will stay right on your machine mat. If they don't, you'll need to poke the little pieces out with a weeding tool. Pay attention to all the little windows, spokes of the wheels, and the numbers on the doors to be sure you get everything. Step 4. Cut and glue the diffusing layers. So if you're in the mood, you can cut 2 extra layers from a diffusing paper, such as vellum, wax paper, or copy paper. So this is the part I mentioned earlier. These layers go behind the holiday paper train and help soften any lights placed behind the train, such as LED tea lights. It adds a nice touch and gives off such a pretty glow. Place your material on a blue light grip machine mat, load it into your machine, and press go. Once the cut is finished, unload your mat as I described before. Then flip your machine mat over and bend it back, and take your time removing the vellum, copy paper, or wax paper to prevent rips or tears. Again, there's a chance it won't cut all the way through in some spots, so take your time pulling it apart. And here is a good tip. Keep your train backs on your cutting mat and remove them one by one so you know exactly which train section it goes to. If you choose to add the backing, just attach it to your holiday paper train cardstock layer. You can use some tacky spray or glue. And remember, as always, safety first. If you use the tacky spray, I recommend wearing protective gloves, a mask, and eye protection whenever you're working with any type of household or industrial chemicals. Also, it's important to make sure that you do this in a well-ventilated area. When in doubt, always be sure to follow all of the safety precautions on the product label to avoid any possible issues. And make sure to open the doors on all of your train carriages. Place each section front side down and spray the back of the train. Then close the doors again and attach the diffusing layers. Doing it this way prevents adhesive from getting on the backs of the doors, and then because that would keep them from opening up later on, right? I think it works best if you close the doors before you attach the backs, but you can do it either way. You could also use double-sided tape for this part, but that will take a little longer to assemble. Step 5. Fold your holiday paper train. You may want to add a dab of glue or adhesive between train sections to keep them together and make one long connected train. To do this, lay out all of your sections in order. Then put a piece of tape or a small dab of tacky glue on the end of one coupling piece. Layer the next section on top and pinch them together until the glue sets. Now just fold the holiday paper train car by car in the center of each narrow coupling. I folded mine up like an accordion.
And that's it. You are all done. Put your holiday paper train somewhere where you can see it. I've got mine on my mantle, which seemed like the perfect place for it. You will need about 4 to 5 feet of space to fully show your holiday paper train, like from end to end. If you don't have that much space, you don't need to glue the sections together. You can simply fold the coupling between the two cars, like I've done here in each section, and then place the sections in groupings, such as along multiple window sills or on tables. And I think this would look really pretty on your holiday table this year, too. Now, there are 7 separate train sections. I recommend placing a battery-operated LED tea light, like one of these, behind each section for a nice glow. And here is what my holiday paper train looks like with tea lights behind it and the lights dimmed in my room. To count down, just open the doors on each train car in sequence. Each door has a dashed line on the hinge line to make them easier to open. Now, if you have any questions at all about making this holiday countdown train or any holiday craft whatsoever, I'm more than happy to help you out. Just leave your question below this video and I or a member of my awesome team will help you out. Or you can ask over at our Cricut Crafters group at jennifermaker.com/Cricut Crafters. I love to help and see you succeed. And that's it for today. Until next time, this is Jennifer Maker reminding you to craft a life you love.